The Dalai Lama conspiracy mystery. In 1950, China brutally annexed Tibet, eliminating the Tibetan government and controlling its citizens under strict communist rule. 9 years later, a bloody uprising left thousands dead. China forced the Dalai Lama, Tibet's spiritual leader and head of state, and 80,000 Tibetans to move to North India, and has been in exile ever since. But evidence has emerged over the past 2 decades that the CIA has been behind a failed coup. And it was in their mission to crush the threat of communism that the CIA succeeded in enticing the Dalai Lama to work for them as a double agent. During the second half of the 20th century, the world was under the control of the Cold War. This was a clash between two distinct belief systems, communism and capitalism. Insecurity reigned when governments fought to influence other countries as much as possible and to disperse their ideological values and their power. The CIA was one of the most active forces in the fight against communism. For example, in 1954, the CIA devised a coup against Guatemalan President Jacobo Arbenz in the name of fighting communism. Named Operation Sprupt, the program involved training, funding, and arming nearly 500 Guatemalan rebels to overthrow the government. Cases in which the CIA is known to have carried out secret missions include Brazil, Chile, South Korea, the Dominican Republic, Congo, and Iran. China has been one of the most formidable foreign communist threats. This soon became a major target of the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, and to curb its influence in Southeast Asia. Military historian John Prados is concerned that the CIA is not the only one working secretly in the region. Prados claims the Dalai Lama conspired with US plans for world domination. Rather than being a peaceful victim of China's annexation of Tibet, Prados believes the Dalai Lama was secretly working with the United States. He points out that the Dalai Lama's escape from India in 1959 would not have been possible without the help of the CIA. Indeed, writers James Morrison and Kenneth Conboy claim that his escape included CIA agents with the advanced wireless technology needed to avoid Chinese detection. In 1998, several released classified documents showed that a huge amount of money was secretly provided to the Dalai Lama's exiled government at the height of the Cold War. The Associated Press reported that the Dalai Lama's administration admitted to receiving $1.7 million a year from the CIA in the 1960s, but denied reports that the Tibetan leader personally received $180,000 a year in subsidies. According to investigative journalist Jim Mann, money for Tibetans and the Dalai Lama was part of the CIA's worldwide efforts to undermine communist governments, especially in the Soviet Union and China, during the height of the Cold War. The funds were given under the understanding that they would be used for certain political actions directed by the CIA. According to the CIA memorandum, which has been non-confidential since 1968, the program consists of political action, propaganda, paramilitary and intelligence operations, and is appropriately coordinated and supported by REACT. This also confirms that the CIA approved secret support for Tibetan rebels before 1958. Between 170 and 240 Tibetans are believed to have been recruited by the CIA for special training, which reportedly required spying and destruction, guerrilla tactics, data encoding, and radio operator skills to infiltrate the Chinese regime. This is shocking if the CIA program started in 1958. This is because the uprising that drove the Dalai Lama out of Tibet only took place the following year. More interestingly, Dalai Lama's spokesman argued that the money set aside for the leader was used to set up lobbying centers in Geneva and New York. However, there is no record of lobby centers being built in the cities during this period. While millions of dollars given by the CIA appear to have disappeared, Russian historian Dmitry Berkoturov believes they were used to train Tibetans as spies. These agents were hired to infiltrate China's burgeoning nuclear program. He argues that the United States needed a way to monitor its enemies because it fought to develop the most sophisticated nuclear weapons in the world. The Tibetans offered this opportunity. But while the CIA may have given money to the Dalai Lama and his administration, there is little to suggest that they have colluded with the CIA or worked for them. In essence, Tibetans did not appear to have a propensity for conspiracy proficiency, the declassified document states. The Dalai Lama also mentions this accusation in his 1990 autobiography. He admitted that 2 of his brothers communicated with the CIA in 1965 and asked them to help overthrow China. He wrote that the CIA agreed to help, not because it was interested in Tibetan independence, but as part of a global effort to destabilize all communist governments. Importantly, he says he didn't know about the deal at the time. There is no specific information to refute this claim. The CIA may have led the Dalai Lama's escape from Tibet. But even this alliance suggests that the Tibetans worked together, not for the CIA. Rather, the CIA was working effectively to quell the rising wave of communism among Tibetans. In 1998, the Dalai Lama spokesman, Rodi Gyari, described the CIA's support for the Tibetan crisis as an open secret. But he said they never supported the Dalai Lama financially. There is a precarious historical link between the CIA and the exiled Tibetan government. I think the Dalai Lama is claiming he didn't know about their secret alliance, but we have nothing to believe but his words. We may not yet have evidence to prove that the Dalai Lama worked on behalf of the CIA. But there seems to be more to this international relationship than meets the eye. Thanks for watching.